Welcome to Uncopyable Women in Business. I'm Kay Miller, also known as Muffler Mama. I've been the #1 salesperson in a male-dominated industry, a successful entrepreneur for over 30 years, and now my mission is to help you build a business and brand nobody else can compete with. If you're ready to break out of the pack and create your own uncopyable advantage, stay tuned. My guests and I are here to help. I'm here with Jackie Joy. Jackie is the Chief Strategy and Development Officer at The Perfect Plan and a dynamic executive coach and leadership mentor. She champions heart-driven, human-centered leadership that sparks growth and inspires teams to reach their peak. Fueled by the groundbreaking research in Dr. Dawn Barden's book, Here Come the Girls, Jackie is passionate about elevating women leaders and mentoring men to be their strongest allies. Jackie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Kay. And before we begin, I want to thank you for everything that you do. And if you haven't got Kay's book yet, Uncopyable You, it is a must read. There is so much information in there, and it's things that businesses across the globe need. So thank you for all you do for others and raising others up.
Well, thank you very much. And the check's in the mail. No, I appreciate that. And you and I have clicked. I've gotten to know you more than most guests because of the fact that you wanted to connect before we recorded. And then also, I kind of had a screw up, and you have been so understanding, and just the real Jackie has come out, and the real Jackie is amazing. I'm so excited to know you and have this connection now. And of course, to hear about what we're going to talk about today, this book, Here Come the Girls. What a title. First of all, that's amazing. And I want to hear your backstory instead of me telling what I think the backstory is about how you came to be involved in this project and just who you are. So I'll let you take it away for a few minutes here.
Thank you. So Here Come the Girls. The best part of that is the second tagline. It's a celebration of why women are going to take over global leadership in 2028. That's the tipping point. So
that's a big, big statement. Very big.
Absolutely. So my background is I have been in sales and coaching and leadership for a long time. I'm on that second half of life. You got to love it. So I have a lot to offer. And it was when Don talked to me about this last year after he finished, his doctoral thesis on this. So yes, it's a guy that wrote Here Come the Girls.
And I think that's a very important distinction. We were talking about the fact that there are quite a few books that I could name off the top of my head about women and empowerment. But the fact that Dawn wrote it, and wow, his cred is huge. So that really is an important distinction, I think, too.
Yes, thank you. And what Don does, he's a behavioral economist, and he looks for forward trends. So he had started seeing this trend years ago, and he talked with John Maxwell, and John goes, well, you need to go back to school and study this trend. This isn't something that can go by happenstance. So he went back to college and did a doctoral study on this. And so it is not just someone flippantly saying that women are going to take over global leadership. It has been mathematically and scientifically proven now. So, and we're not trying to push out men. In the book, I highly suggest you reading it. It's not your typical book. There's a lot of data and stats in it that are and action items to help any corporation.
So Don has a serious cred, and he's knowledgeable. When he has a question, by the way, you said he calls Warren Buffett. He's connected, and he's basing all of this on research, but it's not about women versus men. It's more of a let's take this style that he's discovered that works, that is, normally inherently more of a female type way of thinking. Did I say that right?
Yes, we don't want men to step aside. We want men to step up. It's all about being an ally of women. So there's some statistics around like private equity firms that only 3% of women-owned businesses get that money. But it's not because she's a woman. It's because women haven't had the same opportunities that men have had over the years. We haven't had the mentors. We haven't had the coaches. We haven't had that. The men have had it. So when they go and pitch a product to a private equity firm, they're lacking the skills that they need, not the brains, not the opportunities. Don had been on Wall Street for 25 years. He was the first billion-dollar ticket producer on Wall Street. And he's seen a lot of it. And he said no one was ever turned away because they were a woman. It was always that the lack of being trained to know exactly what the private equity firm was looking for or how to explain it well enough in those terms. So there's so many different nuances that make sense when it comes to Here Come the Girls. He projects that this is going to be bigger than the agricultural and revolution and the industrial revolution. Buckle up.
That's right. Buckle up.
Buckle up.
It's so exciting. And I mentioned before we talked, I've been in male-dominated industries. That's where I started all my outside sales experience. And the men were the ones a lot of times who pulled me up and promoted me and cheered for me. So yeah, I don't think it's pitting men and women against each other. In fact, in my experience, I don't know if we talked about this, women sometimes will be the ones that are the crabs in the pot that pull you down. So we don't want it to be this adversarial relationship, and it doesn't have to be. Some of the things that you talked about, what did I say that I wanted to write down that people, when you're selling them, when you're doing anything with them, a business venture, people want to be seen, heard, understood, and valued. And those are the kinds of concepts or attitudes that we're talking about here, correct?
Mm-hmm. So that was one of the biggest understanding in the research that was done. And they interviewed thousands of women across the globe.
Very successful women.
Very successful women. So what was uncovered is when a woman is running an organization, there's some great stats. When a woman is running an organization, she adds several steps to the beginning of a problem solver that our male counterparts might not. And before I explain what that is most women, especially if they're married, they know that when you ask your husband something, what do? They want to fix it. And the woman is always saying, what?
Never. Really? I've been married for 38 years. I can't remember that happening in the last hour.
So, but men, our CEOs, do that as well. And what they do when they take that back is they're neutering their team, because now they're going, oh, we have a problem here. He's going to want to fix it. But what a woman does is first she shows sympathy for the problem, empathy for the person. Then she meets them in the middle because, oh yeah, stats are 98% of the leaders whose department had the problem knows how to fix it. So when she does that, they're being seen, heard, understood, therefore valued. So what happens when people are feeling valued within an organization? They bend over backwards. Because a lot of times people want that recognition. We all want a paycheck, so it's not about not wanting money. We all want it. Mm-hmm. But people, no matter if you're little or in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, people want to feel that other people know that they exist. And how do you know when someone exists? When someone else sees you, hears you, understands you, so you're feeling valued and seen. That's what women bring to the table. Another fun stat. The average worker right now is 39 years old, and they change jobs every 3 years. The universities are telling students they're going to have 10 3-year careers, unless there's a woman at the helm.
Hey there. This podcast is meant to give you an uncopyable advantage. If you're ready to jump on the fast track, go to beuncopyable.com/K. You'll get the scoop on my books, webinars, personal consulting, and our Moose Market. It's all designed to help you stand out, sell more, grow your business and brand in a way that's truly uncopyable. Once again, that's beuncopyable.com/K. Now, back to the show. Interesting. Now, I knew the first part, but I didn't know that part.
Unless there's a woman at the helm, then it's every 6 years. And in years 4, 5, and 6, productivity goes up, not down. So that's a huge savings for a corporation. So there's, and McKinsey study, women are going to, by 2030, women are going to add $15 trillion to the national GDP. So those that aren't paying attention, those that are still trying to push this male patriarchal system against women, they're going to be left behind. We're prepping people now. So that's
a very good explanation, kind of a, backstory to all of this. I wanted to address a couple things you mentioned. And first is that, we talk about men being fixers. And I think, yes, anybody who's married or been married, you know that when you tell your husband something, you just want to vent, you just want to talk to them. They want to fix it. And I just want to point out the fact that that's not always a bad thing. Since the caveman age, cavewoman age, there has had to be someone to be the one that just makes the decision whether or not it's right. We're going this way. And the women have been the nurturers and all the different roles that we've had to have. So I don't want to throw men too far under the bus for wanting to be fixers, because that is not always a bad thing. But in leadership, I totally agree. If someone tells you what to do, good leaders, I've heard, don't create followers, they create other leaders. That's kind of the whole, I think, to me, in a nutshell, what you're talking about is giving people autonomy and helping them be valued and make decisions. That the other part I was going to say is that are not just soft skills. I think a lot of times when people might hear, seen, heard, understood, and valued, that, that would be nice, but we got a job to do. We got to make money. And what you're saying and what Dawn has discovered is that, no, this is a win-win. It's so much bigger than that.
It is. So in everything in life, we have an equal and opposite. We have the sun, we have the moon, we have, black, we have white, all of it.
Yin and yang.
Male, we have women, yin and yang. Where does the magic happen? Is when they meet in the middle. And that's where we're at with Here Come the Girls. Now, right now, we're technically in a messy period because we have women that are already doing it, and kudos to them. We also have women that are really grasped on to that male patriarchal system. But they forgot how to be themselves. But we also have men that were brought up by women, or they have girls and, became a girl dad. So they have those skills and ability. I've worked for some men. I know some men that are some awesome leaders, but they don't jump to them fixing it. It's a collaborative thing. And then we have some women still that are just very mad. They are mad at what happened to us in the past, but why men became leaders first is because of red muscle mass. It was the Industrial Revolution. We needed guys to crank machines. They needed the muscle. Women didn't do that. But we're also the brains behind the organization, and we always had, and we need more of that. That 3D picture. I say a lot when a guy, and this is never all or nothing. So it's not a male, because we've got some females that really need some work. We've got some males that really need some work. So that's why it's still a messy area. But if we can start working on and being true to who we are and bring ourselves to the table, and not just sit there. I mean, how many times have you worked in a corporation or worked with some young ladies or young men that are so super smart, but they sit in the corner and they don't say anything? That's what we've got to stop. And it's teaching men to be allies. Step up. Don't step aside. We're not asking you to step aside. We want you to step up. We also don't talk about work-life balance. We call it work-life harmony because balance is 50-50. I don't know anyone on this planet can do work and home life and sleep for 50-50-50. So, or 33.3333. Since it's three different parts. So those are the type of things that we're working on in organizations so everyone can feel seen, heard, understood, and valued.
Something that comes to mind when you're talking about that is a woman that I've interviewed, and I don't know what episode, but her name is Rhonda White. She's the CEO of RSC, Refrigeration Sales Corporation. Interesting story. She started as not an intern. She answered a want ad. So that tells you how old she is and kind of in our neighborhood of the age groups. And she had a mentor in the company, a man who wanted to help her. And one of the things she said, I remembered that they went into a meeting and she was pretty new and he gave her some advice and he said, now I would sit back and just listen and don't talk. And so he's trying to help her and be a mentor. And that's his advice, to don't talk. And of course, she did not follow that advice, but it was just interesting that I think men especially need to know how to be allies of women. Sometimes they don't have those skills. They want to. So I think this whole concept is going to take everybody working together. And as you said, not men against women, but collaboration,
allyship. And one of the biggest things is, before I started working with Don, and something that's super important to both of us, and I didn't think he would because he's a guy's guy, but I don't want to have to happen to men what happened to women. It's teaching people how to listen and understand and have empathy and, it's not soft skills. It's human skills. When we were younger, kindergarten, up to grad school, even into your doctorate, what happened? You had a teacher in front of the class talking at the students. And then when they were done school, they go, okay, go out and be great. So they didn't teach anybody how to collaborate and talk to one another. And it's, I'm great in sales. I can talk to anybody. I'm like, but can you listen? Can you pay attention? Are you hearing what they're saying and that's what we need. And that's what women that were researched were saying is we've got to get to that point that we have that collaborative effort. Like one of the other things that came to point is women prefer collaborations. They don't want to go and rip apart someone else's company. They'll go, hey, let me go collaborate with them. So now we're 9Xing the businesses because they have that collaboration piece. It's just teaching everybody to be human, and so much more is going to get done.
Well, as I think about our conversation, and the only thing that's constant is change. So everything changes, and it's very exciting to hear about some of these, it's exciting to hear about all of this. But let's talk about the listener and me. I'm a listener too. What can we do? What can we use from this book, this movement, this change shift? What can we do now? How can we use this? You talked about some questions that I asked. What can I ask you? You say, how can this change the way sales teams approach decision makers? How can we leverage these shifts, et cetera? So what can we do now as this whole transition is happening to a different world?
Well, from a sales perspective, it's never ask someone what they need. They don't know what they need. Ask them what they want. What do you want? What outcome are you looking to happen when because what's happened In fact, we were talking about this the other day. It's like everyone seems to have forgotten how to sell and how to buy. You can't really in today's day make that bad of a choice depending on what you're buying, whether you're buying different vehicles or sodas or whatever. But you have to know what outcome you're looking for. Be more strategic. Really pay attention to the wants and needs of others. Long gone are the I, me, my. Look at them today. You still get emails like that all the time. I would love to talk to you. Okay, I don't know who the hell you are, but so glad for you.
I have an idea that I would like to.
Yeah.
Yes. And some, that's of course, that is a human temptation always we talk about ourselves, we think about ourselves, but yes, to be conscious of that is step one, right? To shift that. So you need to be more you focused, thinking about them.
Yeah. More self-aware.
More self-aware
of how am I coming across? One thing that I did, and I ended up being really, really good in insurance sales because I cared to ask my clients deeper questions than other people wouldn't ask. And even if I didn't sell that person, I actually went back to them a few days later of what did I, how did I come across? Where did I lose you? Where could I have done better? So my clients at the time and my prospects trained me to be better. And it was always listening and paying attention and caring more about the person in front of you than it was about yourself. Something once you get to know me more and more, I talk a lot about energies because everything is energy. And your energy arrives before you do. Whether you're picking up the phone, whether you're on a Zoom call, whether you're meeting someone face to face, if you're going to act more like a walking brochure, they're going to feel that. But if you start with really caring more about, if you're selling health insurance, so you mentioned you wanted critical illness. Did something happen within your family unit? It's just being that human and having a back and forth conversation. And that's where women have excelled because we had been caretakers. We were brought up differently than men. One doesn't have to be bad and one doesn't have to be good. Accept where we were, appreciate where we came from, but let's move forward together, shove all these egos aside that have been so prevalent for years, and let's collaborate. Let's work together to build an organization that everyone from our customers, our employees, our leaders, that they're so happy to work at their corporation that they want to tell everybody. So in working with a lot of corporations and HR, one of the things that we used to hear all the time when I was younger is someone working for a corporation and they wanted to bring in their family, their friends, like, I love working here. You would love it too. You don't hear that as much anymore, if at all. And I think that's got to change. One of the things we're doing is helping HR fall in love with their career again and not being they're not as strategic as they used to be because of the turnover every 3 years. They're becoming pencil pushers again and just having to deal with that turnover in personnel. So we're teaching them to make sure that strategic outlook, because HR in corporations, that's the hub of your company. And that's what we're revising that and working with them to make sure that they have that first step. Pay attention to what's going on around you right now. How are people treating each other? Do you have all the different voices that need to be heard? Give you a case in point. Won't name names, but I heard recently there was this company and everyone was female. The leadership, all the workers, the board, they were all all female, which sounds in essence good as far as moving the needle towards more women in leadership. But it really isn't, because men have a great perspective on things that we might not think of. So that's going backwards. That's what I meant earlier about I don't want women to do to men what men did to us. Having no male perspective at all is not a good thing. We have to meet in the middle, and that's what's important. So self-reflection first on, am I hearing everybody that's talking to me? Next is pay attention to what your corporation is doing. Am I hearing all the different voices? Am I hearing the underrepresented? Am I hearing the male? Am I hearing, whomever? Does everyone feel in my organization that they have a voice? Because what kind of things, and you've seen this happen before, is that people, our workers, have some great ideas to move our business forward, but they don't feel like they have a voice, so they don't say anything. And one of the things that I want to get to, because I love psychology and I love sales, is the voices that people have in their head that when we talk to ourselves, to get those out, not the negative stuff. I'm talking about, and it's that having a voice. So people don't have to have all that junk going on in their head anymore. And they can go, hey, you know what? This is what I thought of. And not having that fear of repercussion is to be able to really come across and say what needs to get said, but in a positive manner that they can really work together in harmony.
I think you said that very well. And it kind of goes back to when you said, what do people want, not just what do they need? Everyone, all of us have so many facets to our life. So if you're an employee, that is just, like you said, one third of your life, whatever. And you've got things that maybe you need to help other people uncover.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody wins.
Absolutely. And another huge thing is to stay relevant. And to stay relevant, you have to pay attention to your surroundings. You can't just go through life in a tunnel with your blindfolders on and just doing what you want to do. What you do impacts others around you, and it's paying attention to that.
With AI as an example of people saying, oh, I don't need to learn that. I don't want to know about it. It's too complicated. But you need to keep yourself relevant. If you want to be part of the business world, productive member of society, you need to stay on top of something as big as AI. You at least need to know about it. So I like that point of staying relevant.
Absolutely. And I love AI. It's one of those things, because people talk, it's going to take over the world, only if we allow it. It's still run by humans, just so you know. And it's better than having Google. It's like having, my gosh, I've had different bots that I've created myself because I have technology as my background as well. Don't be afraid of it. It's like, it's that same thing when you have being in a boardroom. Don't be afraid to share what your thoughts are. Don't be afraid of AI. Because there's some amazing, wonderful things that it can do.
And as a business person, if you're not using AI now, you're so far behind your competition. You have to use it. Jackie, I love the fact, by the way, as we close out, that your name is Jackie Joy. Is that just that's your last name that you married into?
Yeah.
Were you looking for something like that, an uplifting?
I was. It just happened.
It just happened.
I love that sound because people remember my name.
Yeah, and I love alliteration. So Jackie Joy.
Actually, J squared.
J squared. Okay,
squared.
I like.
But people go, well, what do you do? I said, I'm a Jackie of all trades. So, but the Jack of all trades, Jackie of all trades.
So many things. Well, Jackie, you are a delight. I am just fascinated by this whole concept and research from such a credible source talking about the shifts that are coming in our culture, in our society, in our world. I'm so glad that I was connected with you through Jack Hubbard. And again, thank you. Did I say at the beginning? Thank you, Jack Hubbard. Yes, I did say that.
Thank you, Jack.
And he's wonderful. Talk about it. Big supporter of the podcast. I've interviewed his daughter. He sent other guests to me. So Jack, please keep doing that. Send me people like Jackie. It's just really helping this podcast be so much more valuable. So Jackie, what should people do next when they say, oh my gosh, I need to know more? So tell us where they can get the book, what else, other ways they can connect with you.
You can get the book on Amazon.
Okay.
You can also go to Barden, BARDEN.com. Look me up on LinkedIn, Jackie Joy. It's pretty simple. And reach out to me. I love meeting new people. I love hearing new backstories. I am very much a people person, if you haven't figured that out yet. I do love it. And I'm also a connector. Jackie Joy, my number is 321-693-2458. Give me a call.
Hey,
love to chat with you.
I will put that all in the show notes. Jackie, you are the real deal. Sometimes when things go wrong, that you learn things you never would have. And I'm almost glad. I am glad that things went wrong between us because I got to know you better and the true you shone through because you were so kind and generous to me. I appreciate it. So I will just close out then and say thank you, Jackie, again so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Uncopyable Women in Business. If you enjoyed it, please follow, rate, and review the show. And be sure to visit beuncopyable.com/K. Always remember, be uncopyable.